I am often struck by how little we understand our minds. Although we inhabit ourselves, we barely manage to make sense of who we are. I once read that it can be easier to master the dynamics of another planet than to grasp what is at play in the folds of our own brains. I try to understand the mess taking up space in my head every day. I often find myself cutting off contact with the real world, hoping the silence will allow a conversation to flow between me and myself, without judgment, without exterior interference. I ask myself things like, how are you, really? Do you feel loved? How much of who you really are you allowed to be? Are you allowed to fail? Are you allowed to feel guilty or ashamed? How is the bad side of you received? Do you have to be very normal? Do people around you admit to feeling afraid or sad? Does it matter what people think? Does it matter what they think of you? Do people communicate clearly and patiently with you? Are you allowed to tell others how you really feel? Are the people around you confident about the world? Do they panic? Do they lose their temper regularly? How worried are they about your health? How worried are you about your health? And I don't mean your physical well-being. I'm asking about your mind and where it might wander off to. How are you? Really? Who are you? Really? I could write novels for answers to each of these questions, and if I were to ask them again on a different day, most of the stories would have a different plot. Sometimes I will be the protagonist, and other times I will be my own antagonist. I think of these sessions as therapy or meditation. They leave me feeling more aware of the way my world works and where I fit in it. It's no wonder to me how Socrates summed up the entire wisdom of philosophy to one simple command: know yourself. Ultimately, I am constantly in search of self.
How's this art? This is ruining my skin, but who cares? I can't cry. Oh.